Hey there everyone, just wanted to give you my perspective on prolotherapy, my first and second visit. And I had it done on the SI area. Originally that was what I was thinking I was going to have it on, and then they added another area after a pretty in-depth discussion of when I was there. So I chose to go to Florida to have my prolotherapy done. The SI area and the rotation of the pelvis are pretty specific depending on the person and where their pelvis rotates as to where the injections need to be done and all that good stuff. And although we have local people who do prolotherapy, I don't know of anyone that comes highly recommended at this time who does that here. So traveled to Florida and was by myself. Luckily, my husband supported me on that. Yay! He just wants me to not be in pain. And my nerve ablation from earlier in the year was still kind of effective. So although I, had some aches and pains, I wasn't in the horrible position I was earlier last year, or earlier 2018. So anyway, got there, checked in, had a great discussion with the doctor and the nurse. Got some anxiety medication, got some pain medication, and then they went to offer me some, sedation, gas, laughing gas, whatever. And I asked how much it was, saw the price. I said, you know what, I'll suck it up. No, I'm not doing that. Just get it started. So I was informed I was going to be needled 115 times with a dextrose solution. At that time, platelet plasma was not something that they really thought that I needed. So if you want to learn more on that, you can go to my previous post. The injections themselves, the first time I remember them not being as bad as what they kind of feel like now. Maybe I know what to expect. They go very quickly, although I do have to say it's 115 shots for me, and it was in areas where you're already a little in pain. So regretted kind of not having that gas on my second visit. Post-visit, they do a lot of heat. You are not allowed to take anti-inflammatories. So no Advil, which, I'd been taking a good bit of just for pain, and none of that because no icing. So frigid, one of my favorite places to go, help make sure, all the inflammation in my legs and everywhere else is taken care of. That's a big no on my low back in that area. Their goal is to kind of make everything mad and hopefully get that ligament to strengthen a little bit and grow. So no Advil post or even pre a couple days procedure. They put a lot of heat on the areas after you're done, and then you get to go home. So most of all the research I had done online, I wasn't finding a ton on the SI area or the area I had done. From a patient's perspective, most of what I found was either the ankle, the hamstring, things like that. And the reviews had said, you've got 3 to 4 days of pain, and then after that, it's not so bad. And then things start to get better, and then you might see a little bit of a decline. And normally with prolotherapy, you've got to go 3 to 6 times. Originally, we thought I was only going to have to go twice until I got there. And my first prolotherapy experience post-prolotherapy was not the norm. I had pretty bad pain, and for a long time, as far as it wasn't 3 to 4 days, it was 2 weeks. And so here I had went from running post Ironman, kind of feeling like I was going to get some things done, feeling good, to prolotherapy, being told I can't run at all. And when I get on the bike, start at like maybe 30 minutes, easy recovery. I could swim. That was not an issue. But after the procedure, I hurt so bad, I didn't do much of anything except for walk my dog because he required it for PT. So come to find out, I ended up seeing my local doctor who did my lumbar nerve ablation last year. And he looked at when we had done the nerve ablation, and he said, Nicole, I'll bet money that your nerve ablation wore off right at the time you had prolotherapy. So not only was I having a procedure done on an area that was already a little irritated, but now the Band-Aid I had had on last year was torn off. And so, you know, my experience is probably not the typical, but for anyone who has had a nerve ablation prior to going in and doing the prolotherapy, just beware that if it wears off at the same time, you might be in some trouble. So second visit, I wasn't really completely thrilled to get there, to be honest. I committed to this. I'd spent a lot of money just on the first visit. So I kind of told myself I had to see at least the second visit out, knowing what I knew after the fact that those extra days of pain were probably due to many factors, including, you know, lovely woman's monthly cycle. We all know what hurts then, the same spots that were hurting due to prolo and no nerve ablation. So second visit, I will say, was a little bit tougher during, you know, the shot process. It wasn't awful. I'm pretty good at tolerating instant pain. It's the ongoing days on days where I get really irritated. So I just, you know, turned my phone on, squeezed the little stress balls, got it done and over with, discussed what our next steps were, was hoping that I was going to be given the clearance to go run after this visit, and I was told no pretty promptly. My season was becoming more and more of a question mark. Races I wanted to sign up for, stuff like that. You know, I went from having plans to cutting my races and stuff distance-wise in half and still having a great year to not knowing what one day to the next was going to be for my 2019 race season. So that was a little bit of a hard pill to swallow. However, I did Ironman Hawaii. I have to be thankful for that and give my body the proper time to heal. Sorry, my dog wants his ball. And so left visit number 2 praying that it was not going to be like visit number 1 after the fact. So, you know, fly out the night before, fly home the day of, lots of heating pads. And, you know, the pain for me is about 7 to 9 days. You know, my PT says that that's actually a good sign. It means things are fixing themselves, but you know, everyone else's that I've read online for other areas are less. For me, that's just not the case. It was over 2 weeks for the first one, and the other ones have been between 7 to 9 days where, you know, I can't sleep at night because I'm not comfortable on my front, on my back, on my sides, and working out, definitely not really an option. And so I will say, luckily on my second visit, my coach was able to make it to that visit. And so for those of you that don't know, I do triathlon and was looking to just, you know, figure out what was going on. So she came to the visit, got more clarification. I will say Dr. Hauser was really upfront at the get-go. He has done triathlon and Ironman before. He was more than willing to be in discussion constantly with my coach and PT from the get-go. And so they went through a pretty long conversation about what was going to happen, what I needed to do moving forward, what we need to watch out for, and things of those of that nature. So at this point for me, I am now biking up to 45 minutes, only in zone 1. And if I have pain in those areas 2 hours after any activity, then I do not need to be doing that activity. But at this moment, pretty limited to recovery in zone 1 on the bike and then walking. and they want you doing activity. Oh, and swimming. So they want you active because they want those things moving around in there. But again, you have to be careful at what those things are because you're trying to get, your ligaments to strengthen back up. So that is my review of prolotherapy on the SI area and on the front side. So hope you enjoy. If you want to see the actual procedure, again, go back a post. I am not filming myself. So hope this helps anyone out there. It's the only reason I'm doing it, and have a great day.